How about Leonard Pachinak, that kid who hung himself behind that hockey arena? Did he get out of here? The story is a mishmash, an amalgamation of true events in my life, based heavily on a younger cousin of mine. Or Jennifer Hennique, that girl who just walked out in the woods after that party and froze to death. Did she get out of here? No. They just drank themselves to death and died. That's all this place is good for, is drinking and dying. I hate it all.
Steve Sanderson is the author and animation artist for Darkness Calls. Darkness Calls is the biggest comic released in the Healthy Issue series that deals with suicide with a youth perspective.
Kyle's making some tea and serving it to that elder. Known your family forever, and I've known you since you're a little boy. I know you got big. I'm glad to see you're drawing and taking an interest in the old ways. No First Nations person I know really created something for First Nations youth. So that was just kind of sticking in my head. So when the opportunity arose for me to have this time to create something, I made this decision where I wanted to create something where I could give something back to the First Nations community, to the youth, like create a story that isn't pandering or isn't insulting or isn't like a pamphlet or something. Like I wanted to do something that was from my heart and an interesting, exciting story. But at the same time, I wanted to show First Nations youth that a First Nation person wrote it, from a First Nations point of view, for them.
At an early age, when Steve was busy growing up, he brushed his younger cousin off, who looked up to him and wanted to hang out, until Steve received an unexpected call.
He was reaching out to me, and he told me over the phone, I'll never forget, like he was thinking of killing himself, and it just hit me like a shotgun to my heart. I was like, oh my God, this is the realism of it. I could just sense that there was no, this wasn't a grasp for attention or some kind of like a silly thing. Like this was quite serious.
Steve understood this was the villain, a real villain for Aboriginal youth.
Okay, well, every story needs a bad guy. And in this one, the idea was, well, it's this threat, the threat of suicide. Now, how do I manifest that in a physical villain? Reality, the threat is just an idea. The threat is the hopelessness. The threat is the bad negativity in an environment. But I also remembered as a kid hearing the stories of the Huitago, which is the cannibalistic evil spirit in the woods. Do you know about that Huitago? Kyle goes, I know a little about him. Let's go, oh, that Huitago, he's that demon spirit who lives in the woods. The stories that I'd heard is Huitago, he preys upon those who get lost in the woods. And that struck me easily as a metaphor, because with, I think, a lot of the despair and suicidal thoughts, people get lost. And right now, that Huitago, he's eating a lot of spirits right now, because right now there's a lot of confused people out there and a lot of lost spirits, especially among the teenagers. Wissakichak is the Cree legend, the shape-shifting trickster, the first man that would walk on Earth, and he would help and learn lessons from other animals and stuff. But there are so many Wissakichak stories out there that I'd heard about. He hears about these stories and he's sad because nobody hears his stories no more. Nobody believes in his medicine. He's lost his power. So I took the shape-shifting trickster and I shape-shifted him into a superhero, like this thing that kids can look up to and identify with. The thing I wanted to reiterate at the end was I didn't want to have this hero who saves the day, this outsider force. You have to believe in yourself. And the just reaches down calmly towards Kyle, as Kyle realizes it's real and it's not a dream. And then Kyle speaks slowly. He's like, I don't want to die. Huitago stops in his tracks, and then Wissakichak smiles. It's like, that's it, Kyle. Believe in yourself. And then, I don't want to die. I don't believe in the things you say about me. I'm sick of people criticizing me. I don't believe in what you're saying. I don't want to die. You don't get to take my spirit. You don't get to choose that for me. And Huitago's all taken aback by his power. You don't have any power over me. And he's like, I die. And all that power from his spirit comes out and blows Huitago away. I don't want to die. The reality world, we do want saviors. We want someone to solve all our problems. But I knew that wouldn't be very wise or healthy to send that message across in a anti-suicidal comic book. So in the end of the story, it's actually Kyle who is the hero. Sometimes we're lucky and sometimes we do have an angel who comes down, but that angel can only save you so much. In that comic book, I wanted to remind people that They have that strength in them. They can stop this darkness inside them, this Witago that wants to eat their spirit. They have the power to make it go away. And in the end, Kyle realizes that it is his power, it is his strength, and he doesn't want this thing to decide for him. He makes the decision, and he doesn't want to die. So he voices that, and he makes the decision, and that decision is so powerful it destroys the Witago and it evaporates him. And just as any kid out there who has these unbelievable put against them, you know, economic and emotional and spiritual hurdles, they have to find that strength within themselves and dig deep and destroy these villains. What that was, that connection, was the realization that if that can happen to my cousin, that can happen to any First Nations kid out there.